to our podcast, our weekly podcast, Open Up.
Yes, what are we opening up today?
Well, today we're having an Italian vintage, an Italian Pinot Grigio. It's nice and light because this is third summer.
Yes.
It's still warm. We're waiting for fall to arrive.
Mm-hmm.
One day it will. It's not here today.
Yes. How are you doing, McQueen?
I'm doing good for now. I'm doing good.
Very good. And what are we opening up about today?
Today we're opening up about the topic of friendship. Remember last episode I said we were going to talk about something that affects everyone. And friendship is certainly a topic that affects everyone. So we'll begin, of course, by listening to an original poem.
Yes.
Will you be my friend? Will you accept me as your friend? Initial questions unarticulated begin the delicate and fragile dance. With uncalculated joy and delight, we step into the unknown. We can't see the end of the road from the beginning. How do we get along? Am I to reshape you into my image? Are you to fit me into yours? Do you love me for who I am? Who you think I am? Or who you want me to be? Can we appreciate each other like objects in nature, beholding only the beauty of God's creation, like butterfly wings and sunsets and morning bird songs? What are the unspoken rules by which we are to play? You know, the ones once violated make you turn away. How big is this space of freedom? How much space do you need? You move into my heart. Your baggage might be abundant. Shall I clean out a closet or clear the whole lot? Do you love me for what I can do for you? What gifts do we exchange? Does one give more than the other? Who leads and who follows? Whose rules bear greater weight? Are my expectations too great? And what if we cause each other pain? How do we set the limits on the rain? I will not be abused and mistreated, and neither will you be. If we cannot live in mercy and compassion, we must set each other free. And when you leave, what happens to the empty space? Do I fill it with bitterness or grace? My most mature and generous self says, you're always welcome here. I love you as one like myself, imperfect yet precious. My heart is your home. You're free to come and go like a yo-yo, but it's also okay if you fly away like a spinning top. We make our mark. You've left fingerprints on my soul. Mine are all over yours too. An unspoken rule of friendship, we are not unchanged.
Amen.
That's a wonderful poem.
Thank you.
What did you like about it?
I think it's very deep. It's about accepting one for who they are. It's about accepting one's imperfections and allowing persons to come and go and realizing that friendship is about compassion, love, and being valued. So I love that poem. There was a lot to chew on in there. And I appreciate that. What about you, Antonio? What do you think about that?
It was very beautiful. I really like the part where you talk about why do you like me? Do you like me for who you think I am, or do you like me for who I really am?
Or what I can do for you.
Or what I can do for you, yes. But I think that's something about friendship anyway, because whether we want it or not, there's that element in friendship that we do pick our friendships based on certain characteristics that we see in a person. Not always that you can do something for me, but there is some sort of attraction about a person. There's people that we naturally like, and there's people that we naturally dislike. And so that there's those qualities that we seek in someone, and when we just meet someone instantly, we could just say, "Oh, this person could be my friend," and I can't quite put it into words why, but I like them. And then there's people that you just don't connect with, even if you try.
That's good.
So there are many levels of friendship,
Yes.
and lengths of friendship too.
Yes.
I'm thinking that I'm so fortunate to have stayed in one place all of my life. So I have friends from all eras of my life, and it's a real blessing. It's like to recognize people from my childhood who I'm still friendly with, adolescence all the way through where I am now. So that is a real blessing to have a length of friendship as well as a depth of friendship. Yeah. So of the different kinds of friendships, what would you say are well, how do you know that a friendship is real?
I think, well, maybe it depends on once you go through a struggle and how the friendship goes through that struggle. Whether it's a personal struggle, and how is your friend there for you or not there for you? How available they can be emotionally, because sometimes people cannot be there physically, but how comfortable do you feel opening up yourself to someone about things that really matter? And I think also I like to say about friendships and just relationships in general, choose people who choose you. And so when you start to realize that someone is putting time and effort into the relationship or friendship, because we could always say, I'm busy and whatever, but we always make time for some friendships, and there's people that we don't always make the time for, because we're like, we're acquaintances, so we can get along, but we don't have to be that close.
Right. I think there is a great level of trust that comes into knowing when a friendship is real. I think it's where you meet people where they are at in a friendship. The friendship brings that sense of enjoyment, that sense of joy, happiness, that sense of embrace. There's times where there will be pain in a friendship, and it's how you maneuver that pain, and that's how you know how a friendship is real. I've had friends in my life where I have gone for struggles with them, but we always tend to come back so quickly. Like, the issue does not take a long time, doesn't keep you apart from each other for too long. Like, you could have an argument, but yet so you always seek that person afterwards. I think that's how you know a friendship is real. Like, you cannot be without that person who empowers you, that person who enlightens you, that person who supports you in good times and in bad times. There's this song that I like, if I never told you my name, then we would be strangers. And that song pushed me into the place where, it goes beyond just gender, race, culture, and all of these things. You find friends in many ways. There is some persons you are able to be close to because they love the food you like. They like to go out. And then you have a friend that goes out and you want to go out with them every time. You have friends where you maybe want to go to study with, and that's all you could do with them. Then you have friends where you say, oh, let's watch a movie together. And then they will be there. And I think that's part of the different levels of friendship and where you grade them at. But yeah, it's awesome. We have Sophie here, so that's,
as you can hear,
she's our friend.
She wants to be friendly today.
Right.
She's trying to demonstrate friendship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, those are really good points, McQueen, and it sounds to me like you have experienced all of these different phases of friendship, kind
Yes.
of like the phases of the moon, right? You have new friendships that begin, then they can blossom, and then they can also wane. So it's kind of like in the scheme of life, you can't maintain high relationships with everybody you've ever met through your whole entire life. And friendship isn't just, happy, we get along relationships. They go through peaks and valleys as well. And the ones that survive the hard times are really the ones that you can rely on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think even distance plays a big factor in friendships, because you can remain good friends with someone even through the distance, but the relationship definitely changes, because you cannot always be at the same level that you were with that person when you're moving, especially like if there's time zones differences or whatever. I mean, your life just continues its cycle, and then the other person's life also continues its cycle, and there's like a natural drifting apart from each other, and yet there's also that still sort of attraction that when you talk on the phone or when you do see each other next time, it's like you're just picking up where you left off, so you can still be good friends. And I had a good friend that he was moving away, and before he left, he said, "Oh, we're gonna keep in touch, and we're gonna talk all the time." And and I said, "We're not gonna do that." And he said, "Why do you say that?" I said, "Because I don't think you're the kind of person that does that with your friends. I think that once you're in a place, you really immerse yourself in the place, and you give yourself to that, and then you are in that environment, and you surround yourself with that, you grow with that. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, because I do the same, but I understand that this is how you function, and this is how I function. And I know that the next time that we see each other, or when we do talk, or when we do text, it'll be fine. And when we hang out, it's gonna be just like nothing happened. I'm gonna come up to you and I'm gonna make a snarky comment, and you're gonna respond with another one, and then we're just gonna be like, "So how have you been?" And it's gonna be like we just saw each other yesterday, and we're gonna catch up.
I agree with that.
That's really quite a blessing to have friends like that you know that even though you don't see them very often, that they're not really far away.
Yeah.
I mean, their time and distance don't make any difference.
Yeah.
You were going to say something, McQueen.
No, I was agreeing with what Antonio said about the friendship. I also see it like we have to learn from each other in friendships, and we gain things. And when they leave you, you have to cherish what you've learned from them, and because they bring that sense of connection, that sense of belonging for you. And I think friendship is an awesome thing. I think it's it gives life to the other. That sense of community, that sense of opening up one's heart to another. I do cherish some of my friendships. Maybe I might make it difficult for them sometimes. I like making things difficult. I like making things dramatic.
Yes.
And
I
I think
have to talk about that some more.
No.
The next episode,
I
open up about drama.
No. I think it brings excitement to the friendship. In terms, you ask a question and the person might be wondering what you're asking, but it's about an excitement. What is new? We can't always live in the same space and not make things fun. So sometimes there needs to be drama in friendships, and sometimes those drama does not need to be something big. Like you make an issue of small things, like, oh, why didn't I see you there today? Like, oh, so you're not gonna eat this? Oh, you know, understand what I mean? Like, just to, I don't know. I like things like that. Uh-huh.
You like things to be a little bit shaken up. Is what you like to make fun and
Yes.
bring a sense of unpredictability into the setting, right?
Yes, I do.
Well, I think that's that'll lead me to another question. Both of you live in community. You live in a religious community. Is it expected that you all get to be friends with the people that you live in community with?
I don't think so.
No, I think it's expected that you can work with each other because you have, for example, in the house where we live right now, we have 16 people, 16 guys living there, and the ages, including the two priests that live there, go from like 61, the oldest being 61, I think, and the youngest is 22, and everything in between. So you have that. You have different upbringings, different cultural backgrounds, different nationalities, different generations, and so that just throws a wrench in the whole thing. But there's not an expectation that you have to be friends with everyone. You have to be respectful. You have to be able to work with everyone, and you have to be cordial with everyone. I was having a conversation just this past Sunday with one of the guys, and we were talking about the development of friendships. And said, if you notice in religious life, when you click with somebody and you become friends with them, the relationship seems to be moving very fast in terms of friendship, to when you feel comfortable opening up to them, or sharing things with them, and whatever, rather than someone that you meet at school and you see for a few classes, and then you start maybe I have an event, or do you want to go out for dinner or for coffee, and so very little, and after maybe a few months of this back and forth, you kind of start feeling more like a friend. In religious life, all of these steps go very quickly because you live with the person, so you see them at all times, and you're probably taking classes with them, you're riding in the car with them and other people, and so these things develop a little bit more quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very good. I think that friendship is also the foundation for couples.
Yes.
Having been married, my husband was also my best friend, but he was my best friend before we got married, and so I saw the friendship really as the foundation for our romantic relationship,
Mm-hmm.
and then later our life together as husband and wife.
Yeah.
Without the friendship, it would have been just physical attraction. There's nothing wrong with physical attraction.
Yeah.
But after the physical attraction begins to fade, and people start getting older and getting wrinkled, and it's like, you're not the person I fell in love with. Sometimes our relationships can suffer because we don't have a foundation that's beyond the physical attraction.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yes.
Like you said, like friendship in marriage, I think friendship in community, like Antonio was mentioning too, it does help to know that you in a community where there is a sense that, okay, we all are in this together. We are going to go on a mission and we're going to fulfill that mission. That's part of the friendship. That's part of knowing that we all belong to the St. Alphonsus Holy Redeemer community, that we all seeking to bring the good news to the poor and the most abandoned. And if we can't love each other, then how would we be able to bring the mission out to others? So I think it begins at home, and then when people see us on the outside, they say, oh my God, this is a beautiful community because of the way you interact, because you've built up friendships and bonds. Some you might have, they might come to you with private information which you will hold privately, and somewhere you might say hi, hello, and have conversation about school, have conversation about maybe the spots on the TV, and I think that's where it meets. But then that when it comes to preparing for the mission, or when it comes to preparing for a Thanksgiving thing, you have everybody helping and working out and saying, hey, what do you need? That's part of how friendship works. It goes beyond just living together as just members. But yeah.
I think it's also wanting the best for the other person.
Right.
And that's ultimately what friendship is about, is that we are part of the equation, but I am not the only one in this, and so I want the very best for you,
Right.
even if it means that I have to sacrifice something, in order for that to happen.
Yeah.
So friendships can be painful sometimes, and this is, I believe this is, besides being breast cancer awareness, is also domestic violence awareness month. So we definitely want to pay attention to when our friendships become painful and toxic,
Yeah.
and not allow ourselves to be abused
Yes.
in sacrificing for the other. So there's like, the boundaries around me are I am loved, I am beloved, and I deserve to be treated with respect.
Right.
Right.
When there's a violation of those boundaries, then it's time to say, okay, this isn't working anymore.
Right.
Yeah. Or also, where you could, like, you have a boundary, and maybe this is a relationship that you value, where you could also say, this is not working right now because I'm being hurt, but you need to figure out whatever is happening with you and get it together. I'll be here because I value your friendship, but you need to take care of whatever is happening right now, and then we can come back.
That's good. Taking a break,
Yes.
getting a fresh perspective, and if things can be worked out, wonderful.
Yeah, precisely.
Otherwise, they become like the spinning top that can
Yeah.
spin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And then you get involved in a vicious cycle, and then
Yes.
so it just
Mhm.
it's not good. But what about well, because we talk about friendships now as adults, and so we have emotional maturity and all of that, but I think we always have a sense of friendship since childhood, and a lot of friendships, like I always say that it's a lot easier to make friends as a child than as an adult, because an adult, I guess, we are, some people may be shy, or you don't know how you're gonna be received, and whatever. But do you have any memories of like a friendship from childhood that you ever think about?
I do. Actually, I was thinking about the person that I called my first best friend. We were in grade school together, and I would go to her house. She lived 2 blocks down the street.
Mm-hmm.
I'd go and play at her house. She'd come over and play at my house. And when we were little kids, it was a wonderful relationship.
Mm-hmm.
When we got a little bit older, when it got into middle school years, things began to change. And part of it was we were both competitive to be the smartest in the class. She was brilliant, and I thought so too.
Yeah.
And so in my mind, beating her was was a way of making her better too, but she didn't quite see it that way. And I realized that things changed when we used to take our school pictures, and she gave me one of her pictures, and she signed it from your best friend. And I thought, oh, so I am not her best friend. So that's what changed for me. So it was a little bit of a readjustment in how I saw myself, because I had always seen myself as like her sister. I mean, and a good friend, but something changed in her, and it was my mother who pointed that out. She says, "You're not her best friend."
Mm. Oh gosh!
Oh my God.
So it was one of those painful lessons, but I still treasure that friendship. She is the one who taught me about friendship from my early days.
What about you, my friend?
Well, in the Caribbean, I have 2 best friends, but both of them are women, and both of them are in the States here. One is in Connecticut and one is in Texas right now, but they're my cousins also. We did everything together. We raised funds together with the same youth group. We enjoyed a lot of things. Up to now, we call each other from time to time. Our friendship has not broken at all.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe because we mature. One of them is married, the other one works, and they have to do what they have to do. But when we get together, it's like there's always laughter and talking. But when you spoke about a friendship that broke apart, that reminded me of when I first came to the United States. I had a friend too, but during this summer when I was doing CPE, I was on this journey of finding myself, and I got to know, just like your mom told you, somebody told me that the person was not my friend, and that helped me. And many persons had already told me that, but I did not believe or take it seriously. But after that person who told me, we had this whole long conversation. That helped me realize, oh, I have been hearing it all the time, but I just did not take it in. But I was on this journey of healing myself. And I think doing the clinical pastoral education and being in that community where I was did help that healing journey to get to where I was now, where I am now. So there are friendships, just like you mentioned.
Yes.
Some people do need to point out to you when things are not looking like what it's supposed to be.
Right. And we go into denial. It's like,
Yes,
oh,
we
no,
do. We
no,
do.
That's
Yeah.
not true. You don't know them the way I know them.
Right.
Right.
But this is why they can see it better.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because they're on the outside.
That's right. They have an objective
Right.
point of view.
Yes.
So what about you, Antonio?
So growing up, my cousins were, like definitely like the friends, because I grew up with them. Would go to my grandma's house all the time, and I had a couple of cousins that we were about, relatively within the same age group. But I went to, like, friends outside of family. I went to a Catholic school that was in my grandma's town, not in my town, and a lot of the kids from my town went to the school that was in my town. So because I didn't go to school there, I didn't become friends with anybody from my town, and because I was going to school at a different town, and I wasn't from there, I wasn't really friends with a lot of the people in my school. But when I was about 12 or 13, I had these friends that lived in my street, and there's these two girls that lived in my street, and we would hang out every now and then. But one time, I was doing homework in my room, and my mom was there with me, and we were talking, and somebody rang the bell, so I went and opened the door, and my mom said, "Oh, just go see who it is." So I opened the door, and it's this guy who lives down the street, and we went to kindergarten together, and I knew him from kindergarten, and because he lived down the street. So every time that I was coming back from school, not every time, but a lot of times, when I went to the store or whatever, I would run into him or his family, so I would always say hi. So we were very acquainted with each other. Keep in mind, my town is about 1,000 people in it. And I open the door, and it's him, and I go, "Hi," and he goes, "Hi," and I say, "Can I help you?" And he said, "Your mom told me to come." And I was like, "Oh, okay." I don't remember if I invited him to come or if I said to wait. And then I went and talked to my mom, and I said, "Oh, his name is Guadalupe." And so I said, we call him Lupillo. I said, "Lupillo is here," and he says that you told him to come. And she goes, "Oh yeah, I invited him to come so you guys, can hang out." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So I kind of became nervous because I don't know what to do, and I wasn't used to inviting people over, and like I don't know what you're supposed to do when you have friends over. So I invite him in, and I go, "Oh, okay, we'll come in," and we just sit down in the living room, and we start talking. I don't know about what, and then we started like playing music because we had a CD player and a stereo CD player, and I don't know what we talked about, but apparently, we kind of hit it off from there, to where sometimes he'd come over to my house, I'd go over to his house, and we struck a good friendship. We were friends for a number of years, but maybe like a year or 2 years. During the summers, I went and worked with his family, because his family worked for this other family in our town that had a lot of cows. So his family were the ones that went and got the the feeding and all of that, and worked with the cows, like milk the cows or whatever. So one summer my mom was like, "I think you should work with them." And so I was like, "Sure." So I asked them, and my mom said, "You're not going to take any pay, you're just going to go so you can work and whatever." And I said, "Okay." And so I would go with them in the morning and be working with them, come home, eat lunch, and then go in the evenings. And so that's one of the few friendships that I remember from when I was growing up. I was like in early teens.
I was just going to ask about how old were you?
Yeah, I was like 12. I think I must have been like in 7th or 8th grade at the time. Yeah. We still, when I go home to Mexico, I run into him, and so we like wave at each other. We never really talk. I don't have his number. I don't have him on social media. So we don't keep in touch or anything. After like 2 years or so, because I have an older brother, so him and my older brother became friends as well, and then our friendship evolved to where like because he was going out more than I was, so he started to hang out with my friend and with my brother and my brother's friends, and so the friendship shifted in that way to where like he was now my brother's friend and not mine, but also I was like making friends, in a different way, but we never had a falling out or anything. It just the friendship evolved, and so we're cordial and yeah.
Yeah. Very good. Good stories of friendship.
I know this topic is exciting. Like, we could just keep going,
We could.
Yeah.
Well, so one other thing about friendship is that there is a level of intimacy.
Yes.
And I'm not talking about sexual intimacy. I'm talking about there's an intimacy that goes beyond the physical, and that is into the realm of the spiritual.
Right.
Yes.
Where people connect on a very deep level. Maybe they share a belief system together, or maybe they don't share it, but they can still connect on that spiritual level.
Yeah.
And on that level, I think is where you're going into the higher levels of friendship, in that you don't have any expectations of that other person other than they are authentically themselves and you are authentically yourself.
Yeah, I think, there's definitely different levels of intimacy when you talk about friendship or any kind of relationship. But on the sexual level, it's very, I think the sexual level is, if we're talking about depth, could be sort of at the surface, or just one element of it. But really, intimacy goes way beyond that. It's not about getting naked with someone, literally, but in terms of, are you able to reveal yourself to someone? Are you able to let them see your wounds and the things that hurt, and what makes you tick? Because we can live a life where we're guarded and we are not emotionally available to people, and we don't allow people to be available to us, and so that is something that blocks friendship. If you just want to keep it at a superficial level, where we talk about the weather and we talk about sports, that's okay, but it's not going to take you anywhere. If you're able to have an intimate friendship with somebody where you can be open, you can talk about the weather and about sports and whatever, but when you really need to talk about things that really matter, when you feel lonely, and you feel like nothing can fill this void, you can reach out to the person and say, I don't know what is happening, or I don't know why I feel this way. And you don't do it so that the person fixes whatever is happening, but so that they can share in whatever is happening at the moment.
I agree. But then I agree with that, because sometimes friendship gives you like unconditional love, and I say unconditional love in terms of healthy habits, in terms of, hey, let us go, that type of motivation. Let's go exercise. Let's go to the gym. Let's go take a walk. I think there's a sense of integrity that person says, I see you and I'm going to be there in terms of your well-being. That sense of unconditional love in terms of the holistic thing of friendship.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
That's really good. Well, I've really enjoyed our conversation
I know.
about friendship. So we have a question for our listeners. And so our question is to you: what do you think is the secret of lasting friendships? We would like for you to think about that. Maybe talk to some friends about what you see as the secret of lasting friendships.
Yes.
And we want to thank you for joining us on this episode of Open Up.
Yes, and we will see you on the next episode. And we will see you. This episode is actually releasing on Saturday when you have your book signing. So some of us will see you at the book signing. At what time it is? Is it
2 o'clock.
2 o'clock on
Barnes
San
and
Pedro.
Noble, San Pedro at ISO.
Yes, so we'll see you there. And those of you listening at home, we will catch you on the next episode of Open Up.
Our topic next time is also one that will touch everyone. So
Yes.
please join us.
And if you have any suggestions for topics, comment on our YouTube link what you want us to open up about. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.